Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan, and it's the 5th of August. Now, today is the day that the fate of IGP Deshabandhu Tennakone is to be decided by the Sri Lankan Parliament. The Parliament is set to convene this morning at 9:30 a.m. under the leadership of the Speaker to debate a motion calling for the removal of Inspector General of Police or IGP Deshabandhu Tennakone from office. The motion, backed by 115 MPs of Parliament, was submitted to the Speaker on March 25th under the provisions of the Removal of Public Officers Procedure Act No. 5 of 2002. A vote on the motion is scheduled for this afternoon. The motion follows the findings of a special committee appointed to investigate allegations of serious misconduct against Tennakone. Now, current Chief Justice P. Padman Sirasa was appointed as chair of the committee by the former Chief Justice, and it included retired Judge Neil Idawala and National Police Commission Chairman Ladith Ekanayaka. After a thorough inquiry, the committee unanimously concluded that Tennakone was culpable of the charges raised in the motion. These include 27 allegations ranging from abuse of power and corruption to dereliction of duty and political bias. Following the committee's final report, the Speaker moved to table the motion in Parliament. According to the law, if a majority of all members of Parliament, including those absent, vote in favour, the President is constitutionally required to remove the individual from office without delay. Parliament is also scheduled to meet tomorrow and the day after. Notably, the second reading of the Electricity Amendment Bill is expected to take place on August 6th. Now on to another developing story. Former Presidential Secretary Saman Ekanayaka has been summoned this morning to the Criminal Investigation Department or the CID in connection with an ongoing probe into a controversial overseas trip allegedly undertaken by former President Ranil Wickremesinghe using public funds. The investigation, communicated to the court via a B report in late June, centers around claims that Wickremesinghe used approximately 16.9 million Sri Lankan rupees in state funds to travel to the United Kingdom in September 2023. The trip, reportedly for his wife's graduation ceremony, is said to have included a delegation of 10 individuals. According to a B report submitted by the CID to the Colombo Magistrates Court, the former president had been on official visits to Cuba and the United States at the time. However, he is alleged to have diverted to the UK from the US to attend the private event. It is reported that the former president was accompanied by 9 others during this visit that took place on 22nd and 23rd of September that year. In a related development, Sandra Pereira, who served as Wickremesinghe's private secretary, was questioned by CID officials for over 6 hours yesterday in relation to the same incident. Now, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, or the PUCSL, has announced a public inquiry into the nationwide power outage that occurred on February 9, 2025. The inquiry is scheduled to take place today from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall, or the BMICH. The PUCSL stated that the inquiry will examine the causes and consequences of the blackout, which disrupted power supply across the country and led to significant economic and social impacts. Among the reported outcomes were the inability of transmission licensees to meet a demand of 5.5 gigawatt hours, followed by a further shortfall of 4.6 gigawatt hours due to emergency load shedding. Distribution licensees also suffered financial losses as a result. The Commission emphasized that the inquiry will not only assess the technical failures but also explore the broader implications for consumers and the national economy. Recommendations will be made to prevent similar incidents in the future and to strengthen the resilience of the power grid. Members of the public seeking more information about the inquiry can contact the PUCSL on the following number, that's 077 294 3193. The Sri Lankan government has announced a special integrated initiative to expedite the purchase of paddy in collaboration with the Paddy Marketing Board and Satosa. The decision was made during a meeting of the Food Security Committee held yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat. Minister of Trade, Commerce, Food Security and Cooperative Development, Vasantha Samarasinghe, stated that under this new plan, the government aims to fast-track paddy procurement to stabilize the market and ensure food security. Currently, The government holds approximately 13,000 metric tons of paddy, according to the minister. He further noted that only around 20% of the cultivated land has completed harvesting so far, indicating that a significant portion of the Yalla season's yield is yet to be collected. Discussions also include plans to purchase up to 100,000 metric tons of paddy under the new scheme. Starting next week, Sirasa outlets will begin selling rice sourced from the recently acquired stocks. Minister Sirasa confirmed that rice purchased during the Yalla season is now being milled and will be released to the market through Sirasa, ensuring affordability and accessibility for all consumers. Now, 11 Indian nationals, including 3 women, were taken into custody in Battaramulla for allegedly residing in Sri Lanka without valid visas. According to police, the arrests were made following a tip-off received. The group was found occupying a 2-storied building in the Akureguda area at the time of the operation. Authorities recovered 3 laptop computers and 8 mobile phones from the premises. Preliminary investigations revealed that none of the individuals possessed valid visas permitting them to stay in the country. Now, a medical professional was arrested at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake yesterday after authorities discovered a magazine compatible with 9mm pistols and 8 rounds of ammunition in his luggage. According to police, the arrest took place at the airport's arrival terminal following a routine security inspection. The suspect was found in possession of the items while attempting to enter the high security zone of the airport. The magazine and ammunition were recovered from the doctor's travel bag. Authorities emphasize that carrying firearms or related components into restricted areas of the airport is strictly prohibited under Sri Lankan law. The suspect is expected to be produced before court and further investigations are underway. Now let's move on to some wildlife news. Sri Lanka's Department of Wildlife Conservation has revealed alarming statistics on elephant deaths for the year, with 44 elephants reportedly shot and killed so far. The figure reflects a continuing trend of human-elephant conflict and illegal activity, as 84 elephants were similarly killed by gunfire in 2024. According to Wildlife Director General Ranjan Mawasinghe, a total of 245 elephants have died this year due to various causes. Among them, 38 were electrocuted, while 13 were fatally struck by trains. The cumulative elephant death toll for 2024 stood at 388. In response, the Ministry of Environment has announced a special action plan aimed to protecting Sri Lanka's wild elephant population, including iconic individuals such as the famed Kawantissa elephant. Environment Minister Dr. Dhammika Pattabandi stated that wildlife officers have been deployed to monitor Kawantissa, who is currently roaming near the Galgamo area. Now, in related news, wildlife authorities are currently providing medical treatment to a severely injured wild elephant found collapsed in the Kandalama Vawa Reserve. The elephant, estimated to be around 35 years old, had been lying in the area for several days due to injuries sustained to both its front, right and left legs. Veterinary teams from the Givitale Wildlife Office have been actively involved in the treatment process. Yesterday afternoon, officials attempted to lift the elephant using a backhoe machine to facilitate medical care and improve its posture. The elephant's condition is being closely monitored, and wildlife officers have confirmed that a specialized feeding regimen is being implemented to support its recovery. Now let's move to some international news that's about Trump and his tariffs. Donald Trump has threatened to substantially raise tariffs against India over its purchase of oil from Russia. The US president said India doesn't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine, quote unquote. India is currently among the largest buyers of Russian oil. It has become an important export market for Moscow after several European countries cut trade when Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Trump did not specify what the new tariff would be, but it comes just days after he unveiled a hefty 25% levy on India. India called Trump's warning, quote, unjustified and unreasonable, unquote. In a statement, a spokesperson for India's foreign ministry, Randeep Jaiswal, said the US had encouraged India to import Russian gas at the start of the conflict, quote, for strengthening global energy market stability, unquote. He said India began importing from Russia because traditional supplies were diverted to Europe after the outbreak of the conflict. India also criticized the US, its largest trading partner, for introducing the tariffs when the US itself is still doing trade with Russia. Now moving on to weather, the Department of Meteorology has issued a weather advisory indicating several spells of showers across various regions of Sri Lanka today. Rainfall is expected in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces as well as in the Galle and Matara districts. Additionally, showers or thunder showers are likely to occur after 1 p.m. in the northern, north-central Uva and eastern provinces. Fairly heavy rainfall exceeding 50 millimeters is forecast in parts of the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batiklo districts. The Sri Lanka's premier tennis event, the 111th National Tennis Championship, is set to begin on August 8th at the Sri Lanka Tennis Association headquarters in Colombo, drawing a record number of participants. According to tournament organizers, nearly 1,200 players are expected to compete across 22 age categories, featuring men's and women's singles, doubles and mixed doubles events. The championship will also include a wheelchair tennis division, continuing its commitment to inclusivity in sport. This year's tournament introduces a notable enhancement. All age categories will be scored using international ranking systems, a move aimed at elevating the quality and competitiveness of the event. Organizers have also opted for full set matches to ensure a high standard of play. The championship will run until August 18, and organizers are hopeful that increased spectator turnout will help further popularize tennis across Sri Lanka. And with that, this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan, comes to an end. But if you want to follow our stories more in detail, log on to our award-winning website, that's www.newsfirst.lk, and also follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok and YouTube. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our WhatsApp network. We have a WhatsApp channel, subscribe to that channel and all these stories will come to your palm-held devices. Until I see you again, take care and stay safe.